All right, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority, April 6th, 2020 at 6:16. Roll call, please.
Coldiron. Bond.
Here.
Dilbeck.
Here.
Ahern.
Brian's muted.
I see him. Okay. Marshall.
Here.
White.
Here.
Morrill.
Here.
Wines.
Here.
Streller.
Here. So Dixie, the only person we're missing is Derek right now.
Yes.
All right. I do want to declare a quorum. This evening, the invocation will be from Kim Hayes from the Baptist Church. Sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's an honor to be able to pray with you all as always, and especially during these times. So let me pray with you. Okay. Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight to thank you for this group of folks that are diligently serving you here in this community. And Father, we are grateful for that, for all the phone calls and the questions and that they get thrown their way. And Father, we pray for them and the decisions that need to be made, God, during this time, during this season of our lives. Father, an unusual time, a time we never thought we'd or understand what we'd see during this time. So we pray that you'll give them thoughtful decisions, Father, that they seek discernment from above, and Father, to benefit all of our city. And again, we're grateful for each one. Bless them and their families tonight and encourage them. And we do pray that you might keep them safe from this virus, as all others in our town. And thank you for their efforts tonight. And so we just lift this time up to you. And we ask this now and pray it in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you, sir. I appreciate that this evening.
You bet.
Okay. First of all, I want to say that I talked to Bryce a little bit before we get started. If someone falls off, we will stop the meeting until we get you back. Now, if you want to leave the meeting, that's fine. Just tell us you want to leave the meeting, or if you fall off, get a hold of Tyson and let Tyson know you're not coming back. But if you fall off, we will stop the meeting until we get everybody back. So we will move on at this time with the consent agenda. There's one item on the consent agenda.
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Thank you. Did you get that, Dixie?
That was Bond and White.
Yes.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Bond.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Ahern. Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Morrill.
Yes.
Wines.
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you. Item number 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the PMA agenda. Seeing none assembled, we'll move to item 5, proclamation, commendations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. Seeing none, item number 6, new business that needs to come before the PMA this evening. Seeing none, item 7 for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
I believe that was
Jeanette on the second, but who did the original motion?
Morrill.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please, Dixie.
Bond.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Morrill.
Yes.
Wines.
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you, authority members. Let me know when you're ready, Dixie.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Perry, April 6th, 2020 at 6:20 in the evening. Roll call, please.
Coldiron. Bond.
Here.
Dilbeck.
Here.
Ahern.
Here.
Marshall.
Here.
White.
Here.
Morrill.
Here.
Wines.
Here.
Streller.
Here. Thank you. Item number 1 is the consent agenda. There's several items on the consent agenda to look over if we want to approve it as it is.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. This is Ahern, all items.
Second.
Did we have a second?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, Jamie. Thank you.
Oh, it's Jamie. Okay, thanks.
Yes. Roll
Okay,
call, please.
Bond,
Yes.
Steelbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you. Item number 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the city agenda this evening. Seeing none. Item 5, proclamation, accommodations, reports, inquiries by the governing body. Seeing none. Item 6, the city manager's report. Larry?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me make some lighter comments before we get into the heavier information. First of all, the Census 2020 is in full force. As the city's self-response rate was 44.6%, which is a lot better than the state self-response rate of 40%. Back in 2010, our city response rate, self-response rate was 62%. So we still have a way to go, but we're headed in the right direction. It's important that while folks are home, this is a good time to participate in the census. You can do that by computer, by phone, or by mail. Also want you to know that involved in this Perry Community Cares initiative to assist in a collaborative effort to help meet some of the needs of our community. We're helping wherever we possibly can, so rest assured. We're always looking for opportunities to go out and help. And I want to say special thanks to Tyson, who's worked very diligently and been very instrumental in creating this website for Perry Community Cares. Now the heavier stuff. Today, Dixie and I have been talking to department directors regarding splitting up working hours for their employees in their various departments, especially where their workload isn't mission critical. We fully understand that city operations are 24/7, and we have staff that will meet that obligation. Starting tomorrow, City Hall, library, parks will be on split shifts with half the staff working Monday and they'll be working tomorrow for this week since we've already done Monday, Tuesday, and half day Wednesday, and then the other half will be Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, and Friday. Municipal Court is working on what is best for them. I've left this up pretty much to the department directors and their staff. I'm getting worked on while we're here. Electric will remain, will be at home starting tomorrow, and they'll be called out for only outages. Previously scheduled projects have been postponed and then will be rescheduled another time. Water and sewer are also discussing what's best for them. We know that this is a really important operation of what they're doing. Police and fire is somewhat more problematic, mainly because they're represented by their respective units. So we'll be having a chat with them in the next couple of days. I want to make sure that they're involved in this because if we arbitrarily make decisions, then that normally doesn't work out. It's been my past experience. So, Mayor, that's all I have right now. Any questions or anything from any council?
All right. Thank you, Larry. We'll move on to item number 7, consider items pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic. Last week, I don't remember exactly what day it was. I signed an emergency act here in Perry, a proclamation of emergency, and they posted it on our website. I apologize to the council. I said Facebook, and I was wrong about that. But Bryce kind of wanted to have a discussion with us about what other measures he felt like we should take in some other cities that he's working with and some things that they're doing. Bryce, would you like to have that discussion at this time?
Yeah, I think what we did today, Dixie and Larry and I had a discussion to keep our workers safe, and I think this split shift, ensuring that if somebody does come up with a COVID virus, there'll be another shift that will be able to work. I think that's just really smart right now. And as that's going to be implemented tomorrow, as we're, working towards, I guess, the peak on the 25th, that will be mission critical to make sure that all of the public services can be handled. I would say, other than that, the emergency proclamation really does address everything that's set out in Trump's order and the governor's order, with a few additions. I think today Guthrie announced that you can't go outside without masks. And that may be picked up. Lawton actually placed a curfew on everyone, not just on juveniles. I read that in Norman that one nursing home, there's 33 people that have it, and several have died. This is only going to get more and more serious. And the protections that we might invoke right now, which may seem draconian now, will probably seem like not enough, perhaps by April 25th. We did place a curfew ordinance on the agenda. That's the next item. My thought was that minors have no reason to be outside after 9 o'clock. And so, that's what we set up, and that's what we looked at. But, as this thing continues, we can have emergency meetings, and we can discuss issues, or we can set them on the regular meeting. So if there aren't, I did prepare the emergency proclamation. If there's any questions on that, I would be happy to discuss it. And I think also we have Dr. Hartwig and perhaps Stephen Taylor to give us comments about the hospital and the community generally.
Dr. Hartwig?
Stephen Taylor could probably better address what's going on at the hospital. At private practices, we're trying to limit well visits for people that need blood pressure, diabetes, those kind of things. We address those first thing in the morning. People that are ill with non-respiratory things, we're seeing them in the afternoon. And we're trying to see people that have respiratory illnesses. Either we've taken over Dr. Connect's old office, and we see patients over there currently.
Thank you, sir. Stephen, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We
Yeah,
can't see you, but we can hear you.
Yeah, you don't need to see my ugly mug. At the hospital, we've had things closed down to visitors for close to 2 weeks right now. We have not had any positive patients in the walls of the hospital. The 2 positive we've had were out in their car, and we tested them, and they went home. So we're fortunate that we have not had anybody inside. We've taken the precautions. All our staff inside the hospital does wear a mask whenever they're, roaming throughout the facility.
All right, does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask either Stephen Taylor or Dr. Hartwig?
I just have one thing to add. I had to take my daughters in for some lab work for their medicine, and I'd have to say it was just really safe walking in there, right at the, I don't even think we made it 2 foot in before they took their temperature, made sure we were supposed to be there. everyone had masks on. They had hand sanitizer for us throughout every step of the process that we had to talk to somebody. So overall, just felt like you guys were doing a really good job trying to keep everyone safe, both the patients as well as the workers. Kudos to you guys for doing a good job during this.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you very much.
I want to say to both of you guys that you guys are on the front line. Your whole staff's on the front line. It's a battle that you guys are fighting well for us here in Perry, and the citizens just really appreciate everything that both y'all's staffs do. And you might pass that on to Dr. Cecil and his staff, and Dr. Baird too.
Well, we will definitely do that, and we appreciate all the support from the community. We've gotten masks donated and, food donated and gift cards. So we greatly appreciate the support. And even I don't know who did the signs in in front of the hospital, in front of the clinic, but that was noticed and much appreciated by staff.
Well, thank you guys. Bryce, could you possibly talk just a second on the shelter in place versus the proclamation that we signed? I made a post about being in front of the Dollar General store this weekend for an hour, and how people just run in there, and there was probably at least 20 or 25 people. There was 20 cars in the parking lot, and it was just crazy. So ever since I made that post, people are like, we need to put in place this shelter in place. But I read that document, and then I read our document, and I couldn't see much difference in the two of them.
Well, I don't think there's a whole lot of difference. I mean, if you're non-essential, if you're an essential worker, you need to go to work. If you're not an essential worker, you need to stay home, and you don't need to leave home unless you're getting food or attending to your medical needs or helping someone else. I mean, and I think in our proclamation we do it by definitions. We define essential services, and everyone else should be at home, and particularly folks that are over 65. I mean, sheltered in place is a term that's been used. I think the first time I heard it was California, and the people there, if they don't have an essential workplace, they are just staying home unless they're running out to get something that is essential for their life. And I think that's really what our folks in Perry need to be doing. They need to be staying at house in their homes unless they need to leave in order to go to the pharmacy, go to the doctor, or buy food or drugs, beverage, food or drugs. They need to stay in their house.
Well, some of the comments I got was that shelter in place, it gives you more teeth, but we're not going to arrest anybody. We're not going to cite people. It upsets me that, and I get it, that some people aren't taking this as serious as what other people are, and it's making people nervous. I think that's the main thing, that we have to police ourselves.
I suppose that's where Guthrie is coming from, setting a curfew on people. I mean, people just have no business being out unless they're coming back from essential workplace or performing essential functions. And one of those is exercising, one of those is exercising. But other than that, we need our people home.
Thank you, Bryce. While we're on this subject, I know it was a tough decision for all people that have shut down their businesses and aren't functioning right now. And I know that it's a financial burden, but I do want to point out to you all that do work at Toro or Ditch Witch, I do commend that company for making that tough decision to cut down their manufacturing this next 2 weeks. I stay in contact the last 2 or 3 weeks constantly with with the management out there and what was going on. And I just really commend that company for making that step, because I know it's probably a burden on them and their employees. Is there anything else on item 7 anyone wants to talk about?
I kind of have a question pertaining to everybody being at places like the grocery store or Dollar General at one time. You know, at first, you know, it was a panic and it was a mass buying type thing, and that's why places have went to the rules of buying 1 loaf of bread or getting 1 gallon of milk and that kind of thing. But as this evens up, you know, would it be a better idea to go ahead and take that off if it can be a controlled thing? Because if not, you have a family of 3 or 4 or 5. Well, that loaf of bread is gone that day. So every day they're going back out there. Same with milk, same with eggs. You know what I mean? So, and I understand if it is a necessary thing and it has to be that way, or they're just going to take it all off the shelves, then yeah, I completely understand it. But if it is going to even off, it might be a better idea not to have that anymore.
Well, I don't think that's something, Bryce, you can help me out here. That's nothing that we've put in place. I think that's the
Well, we have a provision that the stores need to take efforts not to permit hoarding. Okay.
Right.
Now, I suppose they define what hoarding is. I would say that would be a pickup full of toilet paper, you know, or a couple shopping carts of toilet paper. I mean, I wouldn't think. Do they actually have restrictions on 1 loaf of bread? Are they doing it that restricted right now?
Yeah.
A lot of places are.
I did go in Homeland. I was in there yesterday, I think. Can't remember, but in the beginning, let's say a week or so ago, there was signs in that whole store said one loaf of this or 1 can of this or one. I haven't seen that recently, but I did see that a week or so ago.
Well, I think Curtis is correct. We do want to lessen the number of times that people can go out, but it's a matter of supply and demand. Perhaps we should let our grocery stores and Dollar General, you know that we're not mandating the number that they need to put on their products. You know, we just don't want to see, you know, out and out hoarding done by any customer. Maybe we need to clarify that. But I mean, I think you're right. We do need to reduce the number of times that people go out. Heck, I was telling people 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, you need to go spend $1,500 on groceries because, you know, and get your all your stuff stocked because you know, this is coming and it's going to be hard.
You could have spent $1,500 on groceries.
Well, we could overeat it.
Not in Perry, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know, I understand, but over here, you know, it really doesn't feel. I haven't felt any of that yet. I mean, you go to Walgreens and it's just packed to the gills with stuff. You know.
I'm sure that the Homeland is going to figure that out. That once they put up the bread and then it's not gone the same day, okay, we can ease up on some of it. Being a person that's walked in and the shelves are empty and you're waiting till the next week to get bread, I'm perfectly fine with them having a limit of 1, so I can make sure that it at least isn't gone within 24 hours. I'm sure we're having to do the same thing at parts, you know, and make sure we're managing that with our dealers. Yes, some may have $100,000 that they can spend on parts, but the best place to have them is where everybody else needs them. If you don't need to have that much in toilet paper or bread or something else, then I'm sure someone's going to manage that. I don't think we have to go in and tell them how to do that.
Right.
Anything else? All right. Well, I want to say to the council, and I want to say to anyone that's listening, I appreciate you guys, the way you are handling yourself here in Perry and how we're still supporting the businesses that we can support that are still open. It's very, very vital. So if there's nothing else, we're going to move on.
Okay.
Pardon? Yeah, we're going to have to pause the meeting just for a second. Tyson's got something going on. Just a second. You all right? All right, we'll move on. Still under item 7, that was item A we just talked about. We're going to move to item B. Consider approval of ordinance number 2020-09 for the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, amending Chapter 10, Article 9 of the Perry Municipal Code 2020 by amending the section 10-901 entitled Curfew, amending times within which minors can be outside of their residence, providing for repeal or savings, codification, severability, sunset clause, penalty, and declaring an emergency. All right, this is what Bryce talked about a while ago, setting a 9 o'clock curfew for our teenagers in Perry. I tend to agree that there needs to be a time frame that those people can be out and about. I was at Mr. C's one of the last couple of days, fueling at my pickup, and went in to get me a soda pop, and that lady in there told me that last night there was 20 kids out here in the parking lot. And granted, that's probably the parents that should be governing that, but as we've seen through this whole situation, in many areas that's not happening. Even the adults aren't policing themselves. So this curfew may be something we want to do. Bryce,
a school event, because none of that exists right now. And of course, if you're with your parents or your guardian, you're fine. But if you're on a mission for them, we set it all at 9 o'clock. I mean, I'm trying to set it about the time that it gets dark, and there's just no reason that minors need to be out. You know, the real crime is going to be here if a minor picks it up from a minor and then brings it home to mom, dad, grandpa, grandma. I have a good friend in California whose mother is dying. The niece brought it home, and she's 82 and she's dying. And so, you know, I don't know. Does making that limit? I mean, you know, they're together all day, and then 9 o'clock is the cutoff. Well, we cut it off when we can, and you can have a curfew ordinance. You have the power to do that. And the thought was that it's restrictive, sure, but it goes away as soon as the emergency proclamation goes away. And it's something we can do.
any comments? Any discussion?
Do we have to vote on that emergency proclamation to go away, or is that something that just goes away when they say it does?
Well, under the emergency proclamation, we actually say in that, rather than continue it from time to time, because I think, you know, April 30th is going to become May 15th, and May 15th could become May 31st. I said until the mayor declares it's over, but Mayor, I assume you're going to declare it's over as soon as the governor does, right? Or the president does?
Correct.
So that's when it would be. I mean, as soon as it's over, this ordinance, these restrictions will go away.
Any further discussion? I just encourage anyone that's watching, and parents, just know where your kids are through this time. It's very, very important. Okay. Do we have a motion on the ordinance?
This is Ahern. I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 2020-09.
Second, Marshall.
Roll call, please, Dixie.
Bond,
Yes.
Gilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. We need a motion on the emergency, please.
Move on the emergency.
Second.
Second.
Okay, who made the motion?
Kevin, who had the second?
Gilbeck.
I did.
Okay, I've got White on the emergency.
All right.
Okay.
Whoever.
Bond,
Yes.
Gilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you, council. Item 8, consider approval of resolution number 2020-03 of the City Council of the City of Perry, amending Article 3 of the agreement establishing the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group by extending the agreement into perpetuity. Bryce, do you want to talk about this, or Dixie?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. OMAG was formed in 1977 as part of the agreement. They said their duration would be 50 years. That's coming up. They would like that to be in perpetuity. They're asking their members to provide for that agreement. There's no harm to us. It just allows that entity to continue into perpetuity. It has no effect on our insurance or our rates or how long we have to stay with them.
Motion by Morrill to approve agreement 2020-03.
Second. White.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Bond,
Yes.
Gilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you. Item 9, consider approval of resolution number 2020-04 of the City Council of the City of Perry, Oklahoma, creating a local planning activity committee and appointment of a city council member to serve on the committee. Noda asked Dixie to put this together. Dixie, would you like to share?
Sure. This is something that NODA has done for us in the past years, was a capital improvement plan. They currently have a grant available that they believe that they can get for the city of Perry, but in order for them to go for the grant to do the CIP, they need this planning committee set out by resolution first as part of the grant application. If they can get that grant, then they can move forward with creating or updating our capital improvement plan at no cost to the city of Perry.
All right. Is anyone would like to volunteer to sit on this committee with us? Council member?
I make a motion for Derek.
Kevin, would you want to sit on this with us?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you, Kevin. So I need a motion, if I could, please, from a council member to approve this and appoint Kevin Bond to the committee.
I'll make a motion to appoint Kevin Bond to the committee.
And approve the resolution?
Yes, sorry.
That's all right.
Second by Morrill.
Any further discussion? Roll call, Dixie.
Bond,
Yes.
Gilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes, thank you. Okay, item number 10, consider approval of one net bid for E-rate services as the lowest responsible bidder and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement. This is for our internet service at the library. We went out for bids. Yeah, pardon me. And I got a sheet here. It shows all the bids. Dixie, did we accidentally not get this in the council packet? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Well, what I realized later was apparently the page with the rubric that had all of the details on it looked like it got turned upside down when it went through the copier. And so if you all got a blank page in there, that was the critical page, and I apologize. I think that Pam, I saw a while ago she was on, and she may want to get on and explain it because she's the one that has done the work and understands it.
Pam, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, would you go over this, please?
Okay, so we had 5 bids. The first one's from AT&T. We are held up to government standards on how we do this. This is government money, so they make it as complicated as possible. So we have to have money, or the cost, the highest factor. The first bidder, AT&T, was disqualified because they didn't follow the bid requirement in the Form 470. We will not accept bids for multi-year contract, and AT&T made a 2-year bid only. The next one was Citronet, and they were disqualified because they don't have a CCN. And I talked with Maura Short at the Oklahoma Corporate Commission, and she's the one that said AT&T was disqualified, and she's the one that said Citronet was disqualified. They are the ones that determine the final 20% of the money. OneNet has been our service provider longer than I have been here. They are wonderful. They have great customer service. They don't try to put extra fees in the bids. So they had the highest rating on the rubric. They had 93 out of 100. Bolt had in the rubric 73 out of 100. Suddenly, for 200 MB fiber, they put in $77,000 installation fee. So they got 28 out of 100. And suddenly, on the 150 MB coax, they basically hinted that if there was additional charges, the library would be responsible for paying. So by a long shot, OneNet is the lowest, is the best bid in my opinion, and OneNet is actually part of the Oklahoma Board of Regents.
Does anyone have any questions for Pam? Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Well, it sounds like to me that OneNet has been a really good company for us, and they're actually the bid that Pam prefers.
Mayor, this is Ahern. I'll make a motion to approve the E-rate services to OneNet.
Second by Dilbeck.
Thank you both. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please, Dixie.
Bond.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Morrill.
Yes.
Wines.
Yes.
Stellar.
Yes, thank you. Item 11, consider approval of application certification of payment number 11 in the amount of $14,757.65 to Evan Associate Construction for the 2018 street improvement East Boundary 12th and Birch Street, Grove Street, and Jackson Street. Larry, are these just some payments that are due, some stuff that's tailing off that we didn't get paid?
Yes, sir. We have not done a whole lot of work since this has happened. So this is a continuing, just a final, not a final payment, but it's another payment for this project.
Any questions for Larry? If seeing none, we need a motion to approve this.
Motion to approve payment.
Second, White.
Was that Jeanette?
Marshall.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, no, just want to make sure.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 12, consider approval for the advertisement for the Perry Commercial Park hay lease for approximately 20 acres south of BMAC. This is, you go south of BMAC up on that hillside down there towards the railroad tracks. We kind of squared this off. It's about 20 acres worth of area. There's not going to be but 10 or 12, maybe 15 acres of grass that's usable down there. But that's going to be up to the people that want to lease it. They can go in there and examine it and see what's in there and make a bid. I've had several calls recently about wanting to use that. And years ago, I don't know how long it's been, 4 or 5 years, we've just been mowing it. The city's been brush hogging it. So we like to get it back into a hay lease where we wouldn't have to incur the expenses. It's not going to bring us in a whole lot of money, but at least we don't have to mow it ourselves.
This is Ahern. I'll make the motion to approve the advertisement and the lease agreement.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 13, consider approval of invoice to CEC Corporation in the amount of $10,720 for engineering services provided on the rehabilitation fuel system and design only to improve the airport drainage project. This is a project that we've been working on some time, Council. We've seen this several times.
Motion to approve payment. Dilbeck.
Second.
Sec-
Sorry, Danette.
Second. Marshall.
Roll call, please.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrell,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Stroller.
Yes, thank you. Item 14, consider voting for 3 trustees of the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group. It says there's a list of 13 candidates for the trustees. And the city council should vote for 3. And one of the candidates is our CFO, Mr. Meacham. I think that's a shoe-in vote for us. But does anyone have any recommendations on the other 2? Bryce, do you know, or Dixie, do you know where we should fall on this?
I know several of them. I would highly recommend that you go for Pam Polk. She's one of the incumbents and she is excellent. For the 3rd position, I know several, and Bryce might want to chime in, but my top pick would probably be Lindsay Grigg, but Gerald Howery or Kim Peterson or Stephen Mills, any of those I feel like would be a good choice. There's a short bio on each one of them.
Bryce, would you like to weigh in?
I like Gerald. Gerald was from O'Keene. He's up in Manford. You know, Manford's doing a lot of stuff. Gerald would be pretty good. He's got a Walmart background as a manager at Walmart.
Town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Council?
Well, I know Russ, so that's a pretty good.
Yeah, and of course,
Yeah.
Russ.
That's pretty cheap, Jamie.
even though he gives me a hard time.
So how about Pam, Russ, and Gerald?
Meredith's not saying no, so.
I'm good with
I'm good with Pam and Gerald too.
Doing all the work.
All right, let's have a motion on Pam Polk Gerald, and Russ Meacham.
So moved.
Who said that?
Bond.
Thank you.
We have a second.
I'll second. White.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes.
Russ will be so happy. Something else to do.
Probably send Meredith over there. Item 15, new business. Any new business that needs to come before the council this evening? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 16. But first of all, I just want to say thanks to the council. I thought this came off really well tonight. So we'll see how the time frame in our next meeting is. See if we have to do this again. It actually cut down on Bryce's talking, I believe. So.
Good, Tyson kept muting me.
Good job, Tyson. All right, item 16, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, Marshall.
Second.
I'm taking second wine.
That was Jamie.
You can give it to whoever you want.
Roll call, please, Dixie.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes, thank you. Good night, council.